One second. All right, cool. So we're recording and we'll be able to share this with the team. I almost forgot. Go ahead and mute yourself if you're not muted. And I do have Amy Kynard on the phone here with us, and also Sommer Tucker. Hi, Kelly. Good to see you.
Hey.
And I would love for some of the leaders to jump in on this call and share any thoughts. If you just want to unmute yourself and just share any stories or ideas that come to mind as I start going through this call. It's actually been a couple of months since I've held a team call, and I just really had had it on my heart to reach out to you guys with a message. Hopefully we'll get a large group of people on here. I expanded it so we could hold 100, which would be amazing. Man, if we could get 100 people on this call, that would kick some serious butt. But, I just want to, I think this is a time of year, if I can just recall back over the past 3 years that I've been a coach, a little over 3 years. Sommer may remember too, but I think this is a time of year when a lot of people start to get discouraged and kind of drop off and feel frustrations. And I'm sensing that from the team. I know that Sommer has sensed that a little bit from her team as well. Sommer, by the way, is my coach. She's the one that brought me into this business. And I guess I should start by letting you guys know who I am. I am Rebecca Bain. I have been a coach for a little over 3.5, or right around 3.5 years. Sommer introduced me to the whole concept of home fitness programs when I was pregnant with my third child. And being a gym rat and someone who, was way too good for home fitness, I was only, kind of interested. But, really it was just entertaining her and her little, rinky-dink small business she was running. But come to find out, once I had my third child, I realized that, home fitness was definitely an option that I had to look into, because making it to the gym was not working for me. And then I went on to have my fourth child, and so yeah, it's been a life changer and a game changer. My husband uses the programs, my kids jump in with me. But yeah, that's the short story. My kids are 8, 6, 4, and 18 months. One just turned 4. So it's busy and it's crazy around here. And I know that a lot of what I'm going to share with you tonight is going to hit home with you. But it should be a major encouragement for you, because this business, it is my life, but it doesn't run my life. It is a huge part of my life because it has given us so much as a family. It's given us so much freedom that we didn't have before, including financial freedom. But it does not run my life. My kids and my family come first. That has been something that I've had to make happen and make sure it stayed that way, because it's easy to lose your focus if you're not focused. So I want it to be a major encouragement for you that, you can have a family. You can let your family be a number one priority and make a very successful business. So I want you guys to gather from this call tonight what we really have with this business, because I think that many new coaches, and even coaches who have been in the business 6 months or more, they don't really see the full potential of what you really have. I tell people all the time now, especially for the past 6 months to a year, that I believe everyone should find some sort of MLM, multi-level marketing business, that they are passionate about, and just get involved. I mean, there's so many options out there of businesses that you can be a part of, that you can run from home, that really have a great track record for success. There's a lot of great businesses out there with a lot of integrity that have great products. There are a lot of options out there. But with that said, I firmly believe that we have the best of the best with Beachbody. Um, you know, I may be partial because, of the success that I've had in the business. Maybe it's because I've always had an interest in health and fitness. Even before I had the products, I was very much into going to the gym and sports as, a high school student. And, my first gym membership is 16 years old. So I do love fitness, and that certainly helps. But when you think of all we have with this company and all that the company has to offer, you just I don't know, you just can't find another business that has all that we have to offer. We can market to anyone. There is not a person on the planet, or very few. Okay, maybe that's being a little too broad, but we can market to anyone. We have something for everybody, whether it be their health and fitness, or their nutrition, or their need for financial help. We can do that with all the programs we have to offer. The meal plans, the Shakeology. There is something for virtually everyone that you have contact with. They may not be ready yet, but we have it. We have a product that produces residual income, the Shakeology, every month. It's something that they need to replenish every month, which is residual income for you. We have a brand name that people know and they love. They may not know Beachbody, but um, if you say Insanity or P90X or T25, chances are they've seen the infomercial at night and they know that. We sink millions of dollars every year into advertisement. Beachbody sinks that into advertisement for you. It's something that people know, and to me, that's a huge benefit. Sometimes you'll get into companies and they're like, well, people don't really know about us yet. We're still a brand new company. Well, to me, I want something that people know and trust, and we already have that. Um, we have a CEO, Carl Deichler, who bases everything he does with such great integrity. Every time I hear him, I'm incredibly inspired, and I'm moved to be a better person. With every speech that I've ever heard with him, from him, he is just a truly great man, and you can see that in how he carries himself and how he runs his company. It's just you leave any kind of speech or talk that he has feeling like that you are part of something amazing. Um, you have a pretty amazing team. If I'm your coach, you know that I'm here to help you. You know that if you're putting your energy into this business, I'm going to dig in and put that energy in for you. If you can't relate to me, Summer Tucker has her trainings and her team calls and opportunities to plug in with what she's doing. There's other leaders on the team that you can plug in with. So if I'm not that person, and that's completely understandable, those tools are there. And if you didn't know that before, you do now. So, you have so much opportunity to plug into, and I truly believe that there isn't another company out there that can even come close to giving what we have. What I think many of you fail to realize is what you have within yourself to really make a substantial, successful business, a growth in your business, a growth in your team, expansion of your clientele. And so that's kind of what I'm hoping that is going to happen with this team call as we lead into some ideas and some encouragement for you to really dig in and see what you can do. Because I can motivate and inspire and give you tools and trainings and team calls and point you in the direction of other team calls and plug you into amazing leadership events, and none of that is going to be anything if you can't see what you have within yourself to actually build a successful business. And there's not a person on this call, because I don't think you'd be on this call if you did not have at least a little bit in you to do just that. We have a pretty significant powerhouse on this team, and I've talked to other people who are part of other businesses, and not that they don't have that same leadership, but I've never seen anything like what we have to offer. So I hope that everybody on this call realizes just how much potential you have to grow, how much you have to back you up and help you be just amazing in what we offer, what we can do for other people, how you can help other people, how you can grow your family, how you can grow your income, how you can become debt-free, and start living the life of your dreams. Everyone on this call is going to hear the exact same message. Some of you are going to get off the call and you are going to be incredibly inspired, but some of you are going to have a difficult time taking that first step and actually taking action. So that's the first thing we have to work on. You have to hear the call, you have to take the notes, you have to be willing to take that first step and move into action. Some of you are going to get off the call and be incredibly inspired, and you're going to do something. You're going to get off the phone and you're going to start sending out invites. You're going to find some good training. You're going to do some personal development. You'll do that today and tomorrow, and somebody's going to tell you no, and you're going to be completely deflated, and we're going to be back at ground zero. And then there's going to be a handful of you, hopefully all of you, who are going to be willing to take what we give you tonight, and you're going to be willing to take those little baby steps, those little nibbles of steps forward, those little steps forward that are going to help you grow your business, because it's not something that happens overnight. It's not something that happened overnight for me. It's not something that happened overnight for Sommer or Amy or Kelly or anyone on this call. It's something that we had to be willing to take those little steps every single day. And not get discouraged whenever people told us no, and not get discouraged whenever we had a customer get off of Shakeology, and not get discouraged when a coach quit, because it's happening to all of us. I mean, I just talked to leading coaches just this week, a handful of them. Sommer, I believe, could tell you the same thing, who were completely discouraged. And it's hard to believe, because you see, from my perspective, I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you have had such amazing success. You just texted me 2 weeks ago with the biggest paycheck you had ever had, and now you're completely in a slump, feeling like things are going south. And I think that that's something that I know it's something we all go through. You can talk to the top 10 coaches within Beachbody, and they'll give you the same exact story. The only difference between the people who have made it up there and the people who are still trying to figure things out is that they just don't give up. They don't get discouraged, because people are inevitably going to tell you no, and it's only because it's not their time. It's not because they hate you. It's nothing personal. It's nothing you've said or done in most cases. You just have to know that it's not their time, and it's a matter of waiting them out and doing what is absolutely best for them, and figuring out what their needs are and meeting them wherever they are, and not trying to meet your own agenda. Not to put you on the spot, Amy or Sommer, but if either one of you, if anything struck a chord and you want to jump in, let me know. Otherwise, I can keep scrolling down here.
Well, I can talk, right?
Yep, let's hear you talk.
Well, there's a couple things you talked about, and I was taking notes, and now I don't even know where to start. But she talked about something at the beginning about how you can have balance and you can keep your priorities straight while building something absolutely amazing. And she is 100% right. And I think sometimes we get this feeling as in I'm not doing enough. I did a post on my page the other day about this journal that I think everybody should have, because I think society makes us think we're not doing enough, we're not moving fast enough, we're not effective enough, we're not making enough money, we're not losing weight fast enough, all these things. It's not fast enough because we live in this microwave society. Whereas if we do these little things, and hopefully you guys have read The Compound Effect, if we do these little things every single day, the things that have the most impact on this business, it will move forward. That's all Rebecca and I did. Believe me, we did not spend hours and hours and hours. We were not the people working 80 hours a week. We were the people working a little bit in the morning, a little bit at nap time, and at the playground with our kids. We were those coaches. We were not the coaches that were running on 2 hours of sleep. It wasn't our style, and look where we got, because this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. I know society makes us think gotta make money, get rich quick. You're in the wrong business. I don't even know a business for that, if I'm being honest. That is just a total made up crock of crap, okay? But in how many years have you been a coach, Rebecca?
About 3.5.
3.5 years, and I've been a coach for about 4.5 years. And if you can make an income that is, and I'm not going to even throw numbers out there, but I don't even know, 10 times the amount of my husband makes, would you guys do the little things each day to move yourself forward with your heart, sharing with passion? Would you be all in? Okay, now all in, many of you guys are like, I'm not all in, I got crap to do. I'm not all in. All in is different than what society makes us think all in is. All in is not all day. All in is not sleep, eat, breathe, beach body. No, that's not who we are. It's part of who we are. It's something we're passionate about. All in means I'm here, I'm focused. Sommer and Rebecca, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm here for the long haul. I believe in the vision. I believe in the power. I believe that I can throw one starfish in at a time and make a difference in those around me. I can have a ripple effect, one life at a time. I can share my heart one life at a time, and I can be here through the ups and downs of everything because I believe in this mission. I believe in my perfect day. I believe in my dream. That's what all in means. And that's a decision that you make, like, you know what? I'm all in. That's what I ask my coaches, and I explain it just like that. Are you all in? Are you going to be here when you have naysayers that you're going to get punched in the gut? I'm just going to be honest. And that's like testing your belief. That's testing your all in. I wish you guys could have been at leadership here because we had a former NFL football player that talked about how every day he wrote like right on the back of his wall, it said NFL. And you guys, this guy had all these learning disabilities. He graduated very last in his class from high school. He had everything stacked against him. You know, he didn't have a dad. Like, there was just all these things stacked against him, and he wanted to play in the NFL. You guys, he didn't even start in college, in high school. He didn't even start in the high school, but he was going to play, right? And he had NFL written down in his room, and his friends used to come over all day and make fun of him. All day. You're never going to do that, Sean. You can't do that. You're not smart enough. You're not big enough. You're not fast enough. You're not good enough. You didn't come from the right family. Let's go smoke some pot. Let's go do this. Let's go get some crack. Let's go join a gang. Like, so they didn't want to support him in his dream, but they were willing to be all in for him to do something illegal. And he told them, raise up and get the hell out of my house. Get out. This is my dream. And that's kind of how you got to feel like, this is my thing. I'm all in because this is important to me. And you can stand up and get out. And I'm sure Rebecca has had to say that to people before because we've been undercut and people are going to test you, make fun of it. And it's a pyramid scheme and Shakeology is crap. It's no better than Carnation Instant. Maybe that's only me that's been told that. You know, you're going to get told these things. And it's like, you know what? I believe in where I'm going. I'm all in right here. I'm all in. And I know where I'm going. And I'm going to do it with heart. I'm going to do it with passion. And I'm going to go and make a difference. So that's what kind of popped out. Anyway, I feel like I'm taking over. But that's kind of what I feel like all in means. Like, I'm all in. I'm here. I'm here until the end. I'm going to the top with you. Style.
After Sommer talks, I feel like the teacher on Charlie Brown talking. I feel like you need to jump up and do some jumping jacks or something. So, all right, everybody, take a deep breath. Yeah.
Can I make everybody nervous? Sometimes people are like, I'm exhausted after I listen to Sommer talk. I'm sorry.
Linda Maglione is on here, and her translator is doing the typing for it. So she's probably like sweating right now trying to get it all out. She's going to be like, I'm going to have to listen to this recording and send you the transcript or something. I don't know what that girl just said. I think she's going to go smoke pot and crack, though. Okay. You know what? Yes, thank you, Sommer, because you made a very good point. And I think that many of the coaches on here, if they have not already felt this, they certainly will feel like they just aren't doing enough. I feel like this on a daily basis. And I listened to a call today from, I'm actually going to post it, but, Kim is his name, Kim Carver. I thought it was Sim, but Kim Carver is the East Coast regional manager. And he was giving some tips on, how to kind of bring yourself back to reality and get those main things that you have to do. And I think hopefully all of you on the call know what those main things are, your 3 vital behaviors. And really, I hate to beat those in the ground or beat those in the ground every time I'm on a call, but it really is the foundation. And I feel like if you well, I know for a fact that if you make that your priority every day, and it seems like there's always 1 or 2 of those that we like to put on the back burner, and find every excuse in the book not to do them. For me, it's inviting. So see, you're not alone. Um, I don't like to do it. It's something, and I know I'm not alone in that. I know just about everybody feels that way because it's hard. It's out of your comfort zone, and you're not sure where to go with it. But how many of you, when you have sat down and actually started doing your invites, you realize after sending out a couple of them or doing your 3 or 5 or however many you do, you're like, oh, that wasn't really as bad as I thought it was going to be. So, you are going to feel like you're not doing enough as your team grows and your team starts to fail. Now, don't get me wrong, they have lots of successes. They just don't like to come to you with those as much as they like to come to you with their failures. But as your team grows and you start seeing them struggle and hitting walls in their business, you start to second guess yourself. And the same thing with your challengers. If you're running challenge groups and people aren't getting the success that they think they should be getting at that point in their fitness journey, then you start to question, am I doing enough? Am I posting enough in the group? Am I messaging them enough? Am I sending the right message? We all question this. But I'm pretty sure if you're on this call, chances are you are doing enough. You care enough to question that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just know that it's normal. There's nothing special about me. I am a French major, and it took me 5 years to get that degree. And I'm just an average student. And, I'm a mom, and I wipe poopy butts all day, and I, listen to poop jokes all the time. And, there's nothing special about me. I don't have, fancy cars. I don't live in a mansion. I don't have connections to really rich, amazing people who want to just come buy Shakeology from me. I'm just like you. So hopefully that's an encouragement to you because, I do know that there are a lot of discouragements, and we want to get you through those and help you get past those. For me personally, when I hit those walls and I feel like, I'm having those days where, everybody's telling me no, or everybody seems to be struggling, or I can't just sit down and focus on my business because things are coming at me left and right. I know that is when it is time for me to go sit down and have my quiet time and spend time in some devotion, have prayer time, and I come out of that, and I'm not kidding, 100% of the time it is always different. And it's your perspective. It's the same thing with personal development. If I will go dig into my personal development, just 10 minutes, I will come out of it with so much encouragement, such a different vision, such a different perspective. If you are not digging into your personal development and making that a part of your life, you are missing out big time.
Can I add to that, Rebecca?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think not only are you missing out, I think that personal development is the glue that holds all of this together as you keep moving up. There's a couple things I think are the glue. I think social media is part of it. But I think your personal development is going to equip you to deal with some of this stuff. Because if you're doing anything that matters, you're going to get resistance. That's just the truth. You have to go through this. It's crazy to get to it's awesome, and it's awesome. And in between there's all these people that are saying, you're nuts, right? And personal development is what builds your confidence. It gives you people skills. How do I deal with this without totally feeling defeated? How do I deal with leadership? How do I deal with these coaches that are struggling? How do I maintain balance in my life? I've learned all of that through personal development. This past, a couple of weeks ago, I had a huge blow in my business when I went on a business trip, and literally I just opened John Maxwell book, and I opened Circle Maker, and I just buried myself in personal development, and I actually started to come out of something that was absolutely, for most people, would have just wiped them out. And so I don't think you can succeed without it, because I think you're going, no matter, all along the way, you're going to have challenges. Right now, you're lacking confidence and belief, and can this create anything? When you reach where Rebecca and I are at, it's like the pressure of leading, and am I leading people right? Am I doing enough? And then like the comparison trap comes in. And if you got to keep your head in positive, what we put in here matters. Just like, I mean, if you're pounding your vital behaviors every day and not doing personal development, it's like going to the gym and pounding the weights and everything, and then feeding your body with crap and not putting Shakeology inside. That's how I think of it. They have to go together to succeed. It's your tool. It's your nutrition for your brain.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. I think Kessa has a great story about personal development. Kessa is a coach on Sommer's team who, was one of these people who just thought it was crap and, worthless, and why were people putting that much time and investment into it? And then she actually started doing it, and it turned her around. It turned her business around. And so you just can't pass that part up. In fact, when I talk to coaches who are struggling in their business, and they feel like they need to back off for whatever reason that may be, the main thing I tell them is to stay committed to the fitness and find 10 minutes a day to dig into their personal development. Because even if you're not doing the things that are going to help you grow a Beachbody business, personal development is going to help you in all areas of your life tremendously, hands down, without a doubt, 100% confident in that. So, my question to you is this opportunity for you? Is there something bigger to all of this for you, for your family? What are you willing to do to build? Sorry, that's my reminder to drink water. What are you willing to do to build the life of your dreams? What does the life of your dreams look like? I listen to Dave Ramsey all the time. He is my personal development right now. I recently discovered podcasts. I'm absolutely obsessed with him. I'm actually thinking of taking a direction and learning his course and offering his course to people. It's just a big part of my life. It's something I'm passionate about. And just today he was talking about being generous and how being generous was the key to being successful and happy. So the goal really isn't just to be filthy rich, though, it's completely possible. The goal is to truly add value to your life, to your family's life, to the lives of others. Do you want to get out of debt? Do you want to go on more date nights? That was one of the top 10 list of goals that I had when I started this business a little over 3 years ago. I just wanted to go on a date with my husband because we couldn't do that. Do you want more time with your family? Do you want more freedom? All of this stuff costs money. And for some reason, we are so afraid to build a business that is truly helping change lives because we are afraid of building an income from it. I don't get that. I don't think that I've ever felt that way. Again, I'm going to go back to Dave Ramsey and take him as a perfect example of someone who, on a date, he's filthy rich, making tons of money from books and trainings. And I mean, people, they offer his training in churches and stuff, and he's making lots of money off of that. Why shouldn't he? It's genius, and it is changing people's lives. It's making them incredibly successful and wealthy and get out of debt. It's making a huge impact, and why shouldn't you be able to have that same opportunity? So hopefully if anybody's on this call and they do feel that guilt or that shame of making that money, it's not about you becoming filthy rich and having all of these things to fill your life. It's to help you grow and be more successful and to be able to help other people do the same thing. And if you so choose, I mean, heck, go ahead and live off of 10% of your income and give all the rest of it away. You have to kind of step out and have a bigger vision of what you want for your life. And I know that if you sit down and really think of the big picture of what is possible, that you'll be able to come up with some pretty amazing things. So if you're on this call and you really desire to give more, to be more, to help others, and to help others do the same thing, we really have to get a plan of action in place for you guys. We need to get serious about what we want and how we're going to get it. And is this business a way that's going to help you do that? We need to sit down and get a plan of action in place. This has to be something that you're committed to. This can't be a fired up idea that you get tonight because Summer's all excited and you guys are all pumped up because she's so full of energy, and you get off the phone and you're so full of energy, and then you wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm over it. This has to be something that fires you up deep within, and that's why we drive so hard to get you to find your why and what's going to push you in this business, because when you wake up you should be so excited about what you can do each day that is going to drag you out of bed, and you're going to get to work and you're going to get things done. You're going to get it done in an hour because you're motivated, and you have a plan, which is another thing we want to make sure that we can help you get. Stop letting when people are telling you no and they're getting off of Shakeology and coaches quit after joining you and not being into it. Stop letting that crap get in your head and pull you down, because it is so much bigger. You have so much more potential to help people than just that handful of people who aren't ready for it yet. So stop letting that get in your head. You've got to move on, and you've got to move past it. You've got to forgive it. You've got to forget it and know that it's just not the time. Some of you just paid $40 to start this business. There's not many businesses in the world, and even with a lot of the multi-level marketing companies. I was just talking to a girl the other day who is in a business that sells, actually, it's a product I really like. I use it daily. I think it's a great product. I really think that she can and will be very successful in this business, but it was $800 to buy into the package that she had to start with as a new consultant. That's crazy. I would have never done that if I had to. Well, if I knew now, or if I knew then what I knew now, I'd probably pay like $5,000, no problem, to join Beachbody. But most people aren't going to do that, and most people aren't going to pay $800. So I think it's pretty amazing that you can start a business and have this opportunity for $40. But I need you to start thinking and pretending like you invested $400,000 into this business. Start treating it like something that you invested hugely in, and you've got to work your butt off to get that $400,000 back. And I want to go back to what Sommer said. When I say work your butt off, it literally means getting up and putting whatever amount of time that you have personally decided to invest in this business to make the growth, because you don't have to invest. I am proof. I promise you, you do not have to invest 40 to 60 hours into this business. As a new coach, my baby was 18 months old. I had 3, none of them were in school, and the only time that I could sit down and focus on my business was an hour before they got up in the morning. So I know, and I promise you, it's possible. Amy, do you want to jump in?
Have you ever heard Carrie Legault's story? How she had a huge aha moment here because everybody thinks everybody's working all the time, and some people are, but like I remember having a talk with her, and she's like, man, Sommer, I'm not all in. I don't think I'm all in. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean you're not all in? She was like, I don't have these set work hours all the time, and I don't work for, like, you'll hear like some coaches, they do Beachbody personal for 3 hours and Beachbody organization for 3 hours. Not me. I've never worked it. No. But I don't have time. But I was like, no way, Carrie. Like, no. And she's like, because I just, at night, I read to the kids, the girls, and while they're falling asleep, I do a lot of my business right between their beds on a beanbag, so I can listen to them breathe and just do my business right there. I was like, that is all in. That's her all.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. I think that's cool.
Amy, before I move in, I don't want to keep everybody too late. I normally like to keep my calls just 30 minutes, but I felt like this one's kind of special, and so I do have a few more things to say. Amy, do you have anything you want to jump in and add to what we've said so far?
I was going to say this. Can you hear me on here?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say earlier, I think it was, at Summit, it was a top coach that when we were talking about PD, she said, if you're not doing PD, you might as well quit. And
Yes,
I thought that was pretty powerful. Like that stuck with me. And I share that with my coaches because a lot of them don't do PD. And I'm like, if you're not doing it, you might as well quit.
I
Because
agree.
if you're not improving yourself and reading and keeping that positive light on your day, then
How
probably
can you
not.
help anybody else if you're not helping? If you're not trying to make yourself a better person, how can you possibly help anybody else be successful in either their health and fitness or growing their business or whatever it may be? It's just, I I agree with that.
And I know you have other things to say, but I know half these people on here probably have no idea who I am. But I'm one of Rebecca's first coaches, probably, um, and I've been right behind her the whole way. And I'm telling you, you listen to her; she's going to help you. She's there for you. I called her this morning, like freaking out about something going on in my business, and she really calms my nerves all the time. And it's funny because we take turns because she freaks out and she calls me and I calm her down, and then I call her freaking out and she calms me down. It just works that way. But you're going to have those moments. And I think, I mean, there's really nothing, every call that we do, we say the same things, but it's great to hear it from different people and different perspectives. But like all of them have said, I haven't done anything crazy, and I've been successful. It might not be as fast as someone else, but we each have different priorities and different values, and a different way to balance things. And what I've done has worked for me, and I've been successful, and I'm able to be home with my kids, which is where my heart was. So I think, if you're a new coach on here, figure out where your heart is and what your priorities are, and you can definitely make it work. We haven't done anything crazy. Nothing crazy.
Absolutely, yeah. And Amy definitely has not done anything crazy. I love to use her as an example. Before I move on to these next couple of little topics I want to hit on, does anybody have any questions or want to jump in and say anything? You're absolutely welcome to unmute yourself and ask anything or share anything. Okay. Yeah. No? Okay. So I just wanted to share my husband's sister. So my sister-in-law and her husband got married 6 years ago, and they are both pharmacists. They both went to pharmacy school, and they both graduated and came into their marriage with over $200,000 in student loan debt. And then they went on and started their marriage with a house and property. They have a farm in Texas and tractors and all of this stuff that has added onto their debt. And every time I see them, they are miserable. They're miserable. They're unhealthy. They're overweight. They're overworked. They have been through several nannies. They just have one little girl who's 3 years old. They've been through several nannies due to neglect, or there's been several reasons, but it's been that's probably been the hardest part on the mom. But they're both completely tied to their jobs because the amount of debt that they've taken on in their schooling. And now they're about to buy a pharmacy for themselves for probably upwards of $500,000. And I have no doubt that they will eventually be out of debt. They will eventually have freedom. And maybe when they're 60 or so, they'll be able to go on a vacation because now that they've taken on this business, like a real business, like investing $500,000 or more into opening this business, it's going to be on them. They aren't going to be able to just hand it to someone else to go on vacation. They certainly can't take it with them. So, Matt and I have a very different story. My husband's a Marine. I don't think I mentioned that earlier, but he is in the Marine Corps. Sommer's husband's actually in the Marine Corps, and Amy's husband is in the Army. And I don't know, are there more military? Yeah, no. Anyway, I don't know. Some of you might have some other ones, but it's a very different lifestyle, and because of this business, we have been able to, our story will never look like that. We've paid off over $50,000 in debt. We go on date nights twice a month. We, are getting ready to take our family on a vacation on a Disney cruise, which, that was one of the things I put on my big 5-year goal plan, was to do something like that. So a very different story from two people who are highly educated, very intelligent, and it's just a blessing. We're thankful. Honestly, I absolutely would not be here if it weren't for my team and their desire to grow and build a team, and build a business, and to kind of share that vision, that I kind of latched on to Summer, and we shared and kind of jumped in and did this together. I asked for some feedback the other day on my team page, as far as things that we wanted to cover on this call. One of them was on forming. A lot of you struggle with form. Form is when you're talking to people and you're talking about their family, occupation, recreation, and then diving into a message. And a couple of you mentioned that you really struggled with that message part. So I'm just going to say that in the next couple of weeks, as we start gathering together for calls, we're going to talk more about how to drive home that message, because there's not any one perfect way that I can tell you how to do that, but that is going to be something we talk about more, because it's really about building that relationship, and what you've gone through and over with them in the past. You can't just really jump into a message. And so that's something I want to make sure that we talk about more. So know that we're going to cover that more in future calls. And also, I've been working with one of the top coaches on my team personally. Lindsay Caterino is a 2-time elite coach, and she has done a great job with some of her newer coaches, teaching them scripting. And this is not my area, because I don't know how to script. I can tell you that there are messages that I do copy and paste and kind of adjust when I send to people. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So I definitely don't feel like I'm the authority on scripting, but I do think that this is where a lot of people are struggling. And if we can kind of give you an idea of where to go with your invites and your messages, 9 times out of 10, if I ask coaches where they're struggling, it's usually with the invite and what to say and how to respond. So that's something that we're going to cover in the next couple of weeks as we gather together in these massive team calls, and start answering those questions for you. And just, let's see, I'm going to skip over some of this because I don't want to hold you here any longer. I get real anxious. Summer can talk for an hour. After I hit 30 minutes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm keeping them too late. And I'm seeing my kids like fly by the door, and that they should not be up. Real quick, Kelly had mentioned leadership, and some books on being a good leader. I think Kelly is one of those people we talked about earlier that feels like, am I doing enough? Am I bringing enough to the table for my team? And constantly struggling with feeling like everything that she's giving is just not enough. And I can tell you, if anybody on this call knows Kelly, you know that Kelly pours her heart into what she does. Again, it's something that we all, especially when you find your passion and your vision and you know your place in this business, I think it's absolutely normal to feel that way, because you can't stand to see people not succeed like they can, or like they should be. And so you want to put that on yourself. Your team needs to see that you aren't working around the clock. So I think Sommer has started doing a really good job of that, and setting her office hours. Amy is an excellent example of that. Amy is like the mom of the year when it comes to doing things with her kids.
Please don't lie on my name.
No, it's so true. But you can look at people and see, and it's important, even in your challenge groups, because your challenge groups have people in them that are going to potentially be your coach. And if they see that you're in your challenge groups answering every post that goes up as soon as it goes up in their morning, noon, and night, they're going to be like, this person never stops working. I can't do that. I'm not a coach. If you're making 100 videos to post in your group, that right away tells them that, Summer, you got something to put in there.
You're absolutely right. I agree with you. And yeah, no, I turn on, I don't even have notifications on my phone. I have set times that I sit down and check into my challenge groups, and it's literally timed. Like each group only gets so much time. How much ever time I can get done is is what they get. I mean, sometimes I think people think I'm on more than I am because I have an assistant that duplicates me. But I did that so I could have more time. So I think Rebecca and I are kind of like the queen of delegating. Like right away, we were like getting our laundry folded for us and our house cleaned.
Oh yeah, I was still in debt. Yeah. Well, that'll have to be another call topic. But I was still in debt when I decided to take $25 a week and have someone fold my laundry, and it was the best decision of my life. So pep talks, we all need someone to go to for those. I swear sometimes just listening to the national wake up calls or getting onto the team calls. Personal development, car audio is huge. Make sure you're digging in that. I know we talked about it with personal development, but get in your car, find Shalene Johnson has a podcast you can plug into. There's so much available. There was a coach that mentioned having issues with getting the 10 minutes of personal development, and that should not be an issue. You can go to YouTube and you can search stuff. Set the computer up while you're doing dishes, or if I haven't inspired you to get someone to fold your laundry while you're folding your laundry, you listen to your personal development, because there's no better time. All right, guys, I am going to wrap it up right there. Lindsay Catarino is actually putting together a call for you guys specifically, and I think that Lindsay and I have had a lot of differences. We butt heads like crazy in the beginning of this business. We didn't even like each other, but we have come a long way because we have learned to communicate. We've learned to understand people and why they do what they do.
Personal development
all the way. I mean, you could not believe how that has changed.
I was texting with her today and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because she's right, but it's all because of personal development.
Can I just say something really quick, Rebecca? I know you want to go.
Sure.
Something that happened at leadership that was really powerful for me was when Doug Fitzgerald spoke, because what he talked about was, what kind of legacy are we leaving our family with this? And it literally smacked me in my face, because I realized that wasn't my focus. I wasn't focusing on the legacy part. Like, I enjoy what I do. I love tapping into the groups, but I wasn't thinking long term enough, and one of the things I think for newer coaches, especially, like the first event I ever went to, I got to go on the cruise this past year because Michelle brought me. I mean, I remember seeing you guys on calls, and then I'm on a boat with you and I have to talk to you. It's like, I was freaked out. I'm this little peon coach, and you guys were like these big, successful leading webinar people, and I was terrified to talk. The first time I sat next to Sommer, I just sat there like this. It was dumb, but it was like, it was so good for me because I had no phone. I couldn't call my husband. Like, there was no technology to use. And it made me realize, so for newer coaches, every coach on this team is a person, like a real person, and you need to reach out and connect to them. Like, it's through connecting to each other. That's why I feel like I can leave a legacy for my family, because every leader here is authentic and real, and they'll talk to you, and it's not about a show. And I mean, I don't know where else you can find that, but if you have trouble, reach out to your upline. If you see a person here, like, post it in a team page, message people. Like, I've learned it's okay to reach out. I used to think it would bug people, but I realized you grow when you have a longer vision. It's okay to have it. Be patient, take the steps, but don't think I'm just so little and new and I don't know any better. Like, because it really, that was my biggest thing I had to overcome. And I still feel like I'm learning to overcome it more and more through personal development. But I think it's just, you have to sometimes step out of your comfort zone, not only inviting challengers, but reaching out to people who are successful in this business to ask them what they're doing, so that you don't have to keep banging your head against the wall, because they've all made the same mistakes, struggled the same way we do, had days they wanted to quit, had awesome days where they want to like shout it from the rooftops. And to hear Doug Fitzgerald, who's like our founding coach or whatever, share his journey and that he's been through it, and the number 3 things he was saying, is basically family first and priorities in order and duplicating things. Like, it wasn't anything new, but it hit me because he's been in it for 8 years and has this legacy. And that's, so it's possible, but the patience and the reaching out and connecting with people, I think, is key. Like, these calls, even though it's hard, if we have a lot going on, it always pumps me back up to get on a call with people and have this communication. So thanks for putting this together.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, whatever you can plug into, plug into it. I think it's important definitely to get on the national wake up call. There's been very few that I haven't got off of and just felt completely filled up. And I know that, yeah, I know that, love you too, girl. Or Kelly. I think she's talking to Kelly. Sommer's posting.
I love you too, Rebecca.
Yeah, that, you know, there is always something to plug into, and I think that it's so important to get on these team calls, and I kind of feel guilty like I'm not doing enough by not having the calls. And so I'm really glad, you know, to get this started back up and bring everybody together. Get your coaches on here, get your team on here. I realize that the time isn't going to work for everybody, but we're always going to have recordings, and if you can get on here live, it is very encouraging, just to get in there and be able to ask questions and see people face to face for who they are and what they're doing. But thank you so much for joining the call. I really appreciate it. I will share a recording in the group, and it'll get into your groups, and then you share that with your team and your coaches and help encourage them, help inspire them, help and motivate them, because you are their example. They're going to hopefully follow your lead, but just be confident that you're doing all the right things. They may or may not follow what you're doing, but you need to be confident that you're at least being the example for what they need to do, and reach out to them and continue to, you know, meet them where they are and put their needs up first. Find out what they need, find out what they want, where they want to go with this, and never make it about you, and you will be incredibly successful, and you will help lead them in that same path. All right, guys, have an awesome night. Thank you so much, Sommer and Amy and everybody, for joining in with us.
Thanks, girl. I'll see you later, guys.
All right, bye.